So if we look at this slide, this entirely represents the physical infrastructure that we are using till today. Now here the good thing is that on every physical machine you can install whatever OS and application you require, and they will be getting all the compute resources present in this physical box. And maybe if these are 8 different servers for running 8 different applications, then you require 8 physical servers for running those different applications. And if you want redundancy, then you will require double the number of physical servers over here. So what all compute resources do you get from the physical server? So on the top of physical server, we are installing some server operating system. And on the top of that, then we are running some application. So might be that is your 2008 R2. Maybe you have added Exchange 2010 on that. Now this physical box is going to provide you the compute resources. It will give you CPU, memory, network and storage. The kernel of this OS will abstract all the resources and will make it that available to your OS and application. Now only in case if this physical server fails for any reason, then we traditionally use clustering option in a physical infrastructure so that you can still have your OS and application available if we are doing the clustering. But for that we require again multiple physical box, so that is going to add a lot of cost for the infrastructure. But if you look at this slide, now this is talking about virtual infrastructure. So all your physical servers which are running here, these are now represented or now running into form of virtual machines over here. And on a single physical box, depending upon what amount of resources you have, you will be able to create and run multiple virtual machines on it. And in every virtual machine, you can install different OS and application whichever is required. Now, for virtualization, what you mainly require is installing the hypervisor. So it will look like this. So on a physical machine then, instead of installing any OS, for virtualization we need to install hypervisor. So what is a hypervisor? So you can simply say it's OS required for virtualization. So today there are many hypervisors in the market. Hyper-V is there. You got Citrix Zen. You got Linux KVM. From VMware you got the hypervisor called as ESXi. You also have Oracle VirtualBox. Now since we are discussing about VMware, we will be specifically talking about ESXi. Now this ESXi can also be termed as POSIX, where you can say Portable Unix Based Operating System. And is also known as Bare Metal Hypervisor. So for installing this ESXi, we really don't require any existing OS or application to be present on the physical box. That is why we can say it's a bare metal hypervisor. Otherwise, if people might have used workstation, then for using that workstation, you will require some existing OS on your machine. So that goes into the category of hosted hypervisor. I'll just write that example here. So example here will be workstation. Now what you really require for installing this hypervisor. So you'll just note down that hardware requirements as well. So somewhere about 6 GB of RAM. You need 6 GB of disk space. We require 2 CPU core. Now we require 1 supported network card. Now for this disk space that you require for installing ESXi, we can use the local disk or we can use SD cards, or maybe you can use USB drive, SSD, or shared LUNs available from the storage. So in case if shared storage is already connected, then we can install this on the storage itself. So if that is your storage box and if the storage admin has given us a specific LUN, then it is possible that we can install that ESXi image in the LUN coming from the storage.
I have a question here.
Yes.
So
yeah, you can ask me.
If it is a SAN drive, can we boot from SAN?
Yes. That feature is called boot from SAN.
Okay.
So if this ESXi image, if this ESXi image I am installing in a LUN here, then this itself is called as boot from SAN.
Okay.
And there are specific storage that will support this. You need FC, FCOE or iSCSI. If you have anything other than this, then it will not support the boot from SAN.
Okay.
Now, good thing is that your image will be always safe and secured. But the problem is that in case if the storage connectivity is not there or some network path is down, you will not be able to boot your ESXi. So most preferred option as of today is using the SD cards which you get along with your server. And nowadays we get two 8 GB or 16 GB ASD cards. And that is the most preferred option for installing the ESXi image today. We also require two CPU core. So it could be either that you have two number of sockets, or maybe you have just one socket but having a CPU which is dual core or a core to duo or a quad core. So we minimum require two CPU core for the installation. And one supported network card. So whatever network card is there in your physical machine, your ESXi should have the drivers for this.
By SD cards, did you mean SSD drives or is it real SD cards? You know.
Real SD cards.
Okay.
You may attach a USB drive. Maybe you might have an internal SD disk also. But SD card is a good option. Nowadays you get VMware ready hardware. So what the VMware has done is it has tied up with a lot of hardware vendors, IBM, HP and all that. Now whatever the ESXi image they ship along with this server, it already has all the device drivers required for this hardware. Otherwise, if we fail to check the compatibility of the hardware, it might sometimes happen that we may not have the correct network drivers available in the ESXi. So there is a site where you can go and check this. VMware compatibility matrix. And if you don't have to bother about this, then you have to buy the VMware ready hardware. So are the installation requirements clear to you?